Welcome, everybody, to an all-new episode of GVN Trailer Review. We are going to be breaking down the huge trailer that we got from Matrix 4. I know it came out Thursday, but it was a crazy weekend. Football was back. My mind was other places. Sorry. And then, of course, according to these three, Sony came and shut the whole planet down. There was no internet for 6 days. It was crazy. It was total blackout. It was insane. Yes. But this was a 3-minute trailer. So evidently, it kind of lets you know, here's the movie. This is what it's about. Even though I think a lot of people left this trailer still having no idea what the hell they saw. So this will be very interesting to break down. But first, I want to introduce the panel, starting off with Trayvon. What's up, Trayvon?
Hey everybody, happy to talk about this. Honestly, this trailer for me is just more of the people in it and the action, because honestly, I need to rewatch the old movies, so don't attack me if I don't remember something.
No, that's completely fair. That is 100% fair. What a lot of people don't think about is the fact that some people that don't really remember 2 and 3 or didn't really like 2 or 3, you really haven't liked Matrix since 1999. It's 2021. So I completely understand. Yeah, I understand. I personally favor the second over the first, and the third doesn't exist. So it's why I was open to this movie coming out. It's to just wash away. I mean, that's what Dexter's doing. It's washing away its final season to give you what should have been. Okay. But next up, Jamie. What's up, Jamie?
I'm good. I'm very excited for this because I watched The Matrix like so long ago, because it's one of my mom's favorite movies and she constantly quotes it to me all the time. So I definitely will be doing a rewatch. I think I might have seen bits of 2, but I don't think I've ever seen 3. So that's gonna be on my list to do a marathon of this weekend. I have to do all of it. Listen, I have to do all of them to do it justice. I watched all the Rush Hours last weekend. Now it's Matrix this weekend.
Now hold on. We can't compare those two now.
I'm not. Hold on. I'm just saying that's what I watched. That's because I haven't seen all the Rush Hours, so I'm just gonna watch all the Rush Hours.
You know what? Fun. You know what, Jamie? That is actually a fair comparison, because I would make a case that third doesn't exist to me, and the second one is arguably better than the first one. So I would make that comparison 100%. 100%. And last but definitely not least, Joel. What's up, Joel?
What's up?
Do you acknowledge the third Revelations?
You think you have to, or else Matrix Resurrection doesn't make sense.
You know what? This might be the only time ever I would suggest to somebody to just let me tell them what the third one was to prepare them for the fourth one. Don't go through watching that mess. That is just a mess.
I'm not saying I liked it. I'm just saying knowing how it ends. And remembering, because I forgot how it ended. I confused it with the first ending. That's the only movie I really care about. But the third ending, it's resurrections for a reason.
Oh wait, time out, Jamie. I'm just replaying this in my head as Joel's talking. The only way to truly break this trailer down is to completely spoil Revelation.
That's fine. It's really old at this point. I think if it's past the 10-year mark, y'all just go ahead.
Like I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, wait, the only way I know I personally can break this trailer down is to literally talk of the few good things that happened in that third one.
Oh, yeah,
that's okay. All right. So let's get into this, Joel. I want to ask you this first. I did a Matrix review with Joe on Sunday where we looked it up and clearly I was wrong. But am I crazy, or was there a large rumor that Michael B. Jordan was in this fucking movie?
No, you were wrong. I think I heard that too. And that sounds right.
Still could be, right?
Yeah,
no, because apparently Joe said he Googled it, and apparently Michael B. Jordan came out and said that he's not. And this isn't like a Marvel project where you gotta hide if you're in it.
They're not liars.
He's not in it. He's not in it. Yeah, right.
I think he was originally attached to it. I don't know.
That's what I thought.
I just don't remember how it all went down, because I wasn't paying attention hard on it. Once it became a thing, I think it was it was Matrix Michael B. Jordan, and then like a couple months later, it jumped to being Keanu's back, and that was it.
Right. That's why I thought the whole purpose was it was supposed to be the passing of the torch to a new story of the Matrix and passing it to whoever Michael B. Jordan's character is.
I think I did hear.
Turns out he stepped away from it early on, and then they brought Yaya in. And then Jessica Henwick, Keanu Reeves, Carrie Ann. But I missed the Michael B. Jordan stepping away part. I completely missed all that. So I remember when this came out Thursday, I'm just like, I don't see Michael B. Jordan. Why would you hide that? Like, where's Michael B. Jordan? So apparently I was left out of the loop of him dropping out. So that caught me off guard. So I wanted to start with that because I was dumbfounded. I'm sitting there and I'm just like, I don't see him. But all right. So Joel, we got this trailer. Carrie Ann Moss is back. Keanu Reeves is back. And apparently the Wachowski sister that is directing this, not both, apparently it's not a Lawrence Fishburne fan. Because Yaya came out and said he's Morpheus. So
is he young Morpheus?
No. He just said Morpheus. He didn't say young, old, recasted, just Morpheus. But I'll get into what Morpheus I think he is when I go. But I want to start with you, Joel. What are your thoughts on this trailer? And then what were your thoughts when you found out that he was essentially going to be Morpheus when you could have just called Lawrence?
I thought the trailer was good. It was interesting, intriguing. I would say more than anything because I haven't, like you said, I haven't been interested in Matrix in a long time. So just to see now, especially nowadays, where technology can definitely do what they wanted to do then, now more so than they were then. Because there were definitely moments in those old movies where I'm like, but that's why this trailer definitely stuck out, and I'm really curious how they explain the whole Neo thing, even though he's not going by Neo. You know what I mean? So they have to explain what happened after. I don't know, without spoiling what happened in Revelations, like how, like the time in between the two. Like, whoa, what happened? Like, where the fuck did you know what I mean? And then the whole I kind of thought I knew he was gonna be Morpheus. I thought when it came out, when he got casted, that he was gonna that was a point. I thought he was playing a young Morpheus. I thought that's what they announced when he got casted. So that wasn't really shocking. I don't know why they decided to go with that instead of bringing back Lawrence Fishburne. I don't know, but maybe if I do some research, we'll find out. But as of right now, I have no idea. I don't even think Lawrence knows, but fuck it.
No, last time he spoke, he said, "I just never got a phone call."
Maybe the movie explains it. Like,
kept it as simple.
Can't have you back, blah whatever the fuck.
I will say the first thing that piqued my interest was before this trailer came out, when I was watching the teasers and talking to you, Joel, I saw an interview where one of the Wachowski sisters had said they didn't see the necessity in this movie, which is why she was not attached to co-directing again. It was the other sister that saw the value in bringing the story back. So I'm really curious on two ends. You know me, Joel. You know that's why I wasn't too welcoming of Bad Boys 3. It's when it's that long of a gap, it's always a question of why. You know what I'm saying? I know that some people, they don't care. They just love the franchise, doesn't matter. Completely understand. To me,
you like Bad Boys 3?
I like Bad Boys 3.
Did you say, Trayvon?
I did too. I was asking, did you like it?
Oh, no, I didn't have a problem with it. I didn't have a problem
okay.
I just, to me, when you leave that big of a gap and they're older, it's just why. You know what I'm saying?
Some look more older than others. Some people kept up with their.
Look, Keanu Reeves, if not for long hair, is exactly the same as 1999 to me.
He does look weird though when he cuts his facial hair off, though.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, he does.
Like, whoa.
Yes. He looks like an android when he cuts his facial hair off. One thing I did kind of feel from this trailer was they had to have shot this around the time he was originally supposed to be filming John Wick 4. Because there has to be a reason why he looks exactly like the hairstyle and everything. Neo never had long hair in the original 3 movies.
He also didn't have facial hair.
Right, especially facial hair. So it's like he must have been like, hey, I'm doing John Wick 4 soon. Deal with it. Hair staying, beard staying.
But to be fair, he's not Neo per se yet. You know what I'm saying?
That is fair. So I want to get into that. So Jamie, you said you're okay with if we happen to go into some revelations. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it looks like from this trailer, it looks like he's in a simulation, right? Because we remember the whole purpose of the robots was to dispel free will. It was to make everything a simulation, so there was no free will. So clearly this psychiatrist is in a simulation. You can tell his glasses are blue, the painting behind him is blue, the fish tank is blue, and you see the deja vu cat from the first movie. And then you see that the psychiatrist subscribes him the blue pills. And if you remember, the blue pills is what was supposed to keep you in reality instead of the Matrix. The red pill was to enter the Matrix. So this looks like he is trapped in this endless loop of just living a life he thinks he's living, but in all reality, he's not. He doesn't have free will. So what I like about this is it seems as though Trinity is in the same thing. She's in the same thing, and it's them meeting again and kind of just going, there is just something about you. I don't know what it is. But what I loved about this trailer was they're recreating the first movie. The scene where Trinity has her back to the agents and then she runs up the wall, that's from the first movie. Excuse me. There's even a scene where someone is watching what happened to Neo when he first jacks in. And you see it kind of going up going up to like his throat and whatnot. So I think Yaya is an alternate version of Morpheus. And they're just recreating that moment of looping him back into the Matrix. Because that's why he's offering him the red pill. He's giving him the option of stay here or let's go for a ride. So I think they're just recreating it. Which again is just a complete mind freak. Everything in here is a mind freak. But the biggest thing of this trailer is it shows Neo's in a tank, Trinity's in a tank, and they're completely hooked up. So it looks like the robots, after the events of the third movie, got a hold of Neo and Trinity somehow. And apparently, Neo's being resurrected like Jesus. Because the Matrix very much formulaically followed the life of Jesus, to where it's the chosen one, he sacrifices, and then on the he's risen. So it seems as though he's having that complete cycle of his Jesus moment. So
it looks more like Jesus too.
Now it looks exactly like right. I'm telling you, if there's a scene with a robe, I'm gonna freak out. But he looks more powerful in this movie than he ever was in the other three. I don't recall him ever being able to stop bullets like that many.
Stop bullets. Like he deflected a missile. That was new.
No.
Yeah.
He was able to stop bullets. I'm saying that many. He looks like in that one scene, he's stopping a shit ton of bullets. And then yes, redirecting the rocket is something he's never done before. So this is like Super Saiyan 2 Neo, I guess. I don't know. But this movie is very confusing. And apparently also Jada Pinkett Smith will be back.
Oh,
nice.
That'll be very interesting to see what role she plays in this, because she was awesome in those Matrix movies. So much they gave her own game. So I can't wait to see what she does in this. But Jamie, I'll go to you next. Not having seen 3, and you said you didn't really finish 2, right?
No, yeah, I've seen bits and pieces, but not all in one go.
Man, I love 2. You got it. Yeah. Let me know when you start your rewatch, because I really love 2. She got way more confusing in 2. When the Oracle's sitting talking to him on the bench, and it's just like, I don't know what you guys are saying. Like, she was saying some real complicated shit. But I did want to ask really quick, Jamie, before you go into your thoughts. Joelle, Trayvon, did you guys notice that the little girl from the original, that's her as an adult holding the Alice in Wonderland book?
I didn't. I saw that on the internet though, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome.
I
She's
know
become the
I
new Oracle.
definitely don't remember that far back. But
Yeah, she's
someone-
become the new Oracle. I was like, oh, that's pretty dope. Somebody said that was Priyanka. I don't think that's Is that Priyanka? Yeah, I didn't think so.
Mm-mm. No.
Yeah,
I don't think so. No.
I would have recognized Priyanka.
That's what I
Yeah,
said,
yeah, me
Joel, but
too,
I'm like, it
yeah.
sounded really creepy when I said it. But I'm like, no, I would have known if it was.
Yeah, I would have noticed. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not Priyanka. But anyway, Jamie. So with the little bit of Matrix knowledge
Yeah.
from one movie that you have, what did this do for you? Like, did this immediately make you want to go check out the other ones?
Yeah, for sure, definitely. I think more than anything, kind of like what Joel was saying, I am really excited that now that like technology has advanced so much, I'm just curious to see like how are they going to like complete this vision that they might have had so long ago, or how are they going to push it forward to the point that it's like, well, crap, now we still don't have the technology for what we want to do. So there's just so many crazy things that they can do. And I know it's been like the first Matrix was super influential for the movie industry just in general, and then that was influenced off of something else. So I'm like, this could be like influence the next coming of filmmakers. But yeah, I really liked what I saw. It was like very like, I like the kind of like movies that make you think, but you also can't really keep up with what's going on, which is totally the Matrix. And there's just so many like trippy things that it just looks like a puzzle that I'm going to enjoy trying to solve at least.
Yeah, this movie, looks like it's blending the essence of Matrix with some parts of Inception, to where this looks way more like the first three Matrix. You could somewhat keep up because they jack in and out. So it's like, when they're in the Matrix and when they're not. That is very evident, right? So it was never like, oh man, like, I don't know, is this real? Is this not real? It was very clear whether it was real or not. But this looks way more trippy. Like I said, the little town that's at the beginning of the trailer looks like it's within a simulation. So it's like, well, is this whole therapy session real? Like, what, you know what I'm saying? So it doesn't really show them jacked out, only jacked in. So it's like, this movie could end and it's just like, nope, Neo's been dead the whole time. This was just Trinity's dream. And it's just like, what? Like, I don't understand. So I'm really curious. I want to ask Jamie, you and Joel this before I go to you, Trayvon, for you to give your thoughts. I said this to Joe Sunday. The fact that this movie exists, this now can't be a bookend, because the third one ended with answering everyone's questions. It literally ended to where it was just like, okay, you know what I'm saying? It's very self-explanatory, sacrifice, that's it. So to make this, I assume it's to make this in mind of making more. So my question, I want to start with you, Jamie. My question is, if they do more, does this kind of feel like overkill? Or do you kind of feel the same way some people do about John Wick? So it's like, well, they haven't made a bad John Wick yet. So just, I guess, let Keanu Reeves do it till he can't no more.
It's interesting because I think of it from two different perspectives. Like, from a story perspective, I feel like it would be kind of odd to keep going, but with the way that they have so much technology to do all these things that they like had been envisioning for years, I think it could almost be like a different saga almost. So if they passed it on to a new protagonist at the end of this movie, then I could totally see like the story continues past Neo onto somebody else, because the Matrix is like a beloved franchise. So I could very much so see somebody like, we need to dig into this because there's money there. So
yeah, I mean, this will be interesting. I'm going to pass this to you, Joel, because you've seen 2 and 3. The whole premise of the original trilogy was the war between man and robot. That war was ended. So now it's kind of just like, well, and of course we have to wait till we see the movie, but it's just the idea of, what is the purpose of this returning when it was a very satisfying ending? So now I kind of feel like if you bring Neo back, there is no way you can pass the baton because that should have came with this movie being a reboot and you having all new characters and an all new need for a chosen one. But how do you view that, Joel? Do you see this going on past just this movie? And if it does, would you have any interest in seeing a whole new era of other Matrix movies?
They have a good story to tell. Yes, I'm very interested. More than fine watching more Matrix movies if they're good Matrix movies, and as long if Keanu's coming back, I'm not gonna be upset about that. So he's gonna stay around. Cool. He's not that he's getting younger, so he should probably pass it on to someone younger in some capacity. I don't know if they'll be technically the chosen one like he was, but again, it's really dependent on. I don't know the story. I don't really know how they're explaining it or why the fuck they're back in the first place. So once we figure that part out, then I'll be more open to other things. As long as it's good, I'll watch it. I don't see the problem.
Yeah, I mean, look, we got word that there's going to be a new Die Hard. We know that Harrison Ford is trying his best to use a walker to complete this new Indiana Jones movie.
Oh boy.
Tom Cruise will be
I really look forward to seeing him finish.
We gotta go back. Are you saying he's trying to be Indiana Jones again for
No,
this?
he is.
They are. They already doing
I
it.
thought that they were doing Chris Pratt. I thought
No, Jamie, that's what we all wish would happen. But Harrison Ford will die.
Do we wish that? Do we?
Yes, Chris Pratt.
I kind of want to see it. I think that would be fun.
Yeah, he brings a very lovable factor to doing somewhat of an Indian.
And that would be interesting to see him kind of play like the archaeologist role, because I don't think I've ever seen him play like a character that shows that much intelligence. So that would be really interesting.
Yeah, I have not.
Yeah.
I think the highest form of intelligence is whatever he's doing in Jurassic Park. I think that's probably the height of his intelligence. But no, look, Tom Cruise has been doing Mission Impossible movies since like '98. And there's 2 more coming. So if you can remain young enough to keep doing them, I guess we'll be on Matrix 10 when Keanu Reeves is 86, still trying to do stunts. But Trayvon, how much longer do you realistically think this franchise can go with the same premise and characters? Because I originally thought, again, backtracking a little bit, when I thought Michael B. Jordan was in it, I thought the whole premise was Neo was not the chosen one, and it didn't work. So, kind of like the Anakin loop of Anakin wasn't really the chosen one. It was Luke. So I thought they were going that route, and that was a way that you can now pass it on to someone else and then keep it going. But if the chosen one really is Neo and he achieved his goal, but now he's back, it's kind of just like, well, I don't know if you have the legs to do 3, 4 more of this, because it's like you didn't crescendo with the 3rd movie. So what are your thoughts on that, and then your thoughts on the trailer, Trayvon?
I feel like they've built enough of not mythology, but I don't know, like like a world. It built enough to. I'm sure that Lana Wachowski can figure out something else to do with this. Like this doesn't have to. It doesn't have to always be around Neo. I mean, they could figure out a different way to do this. And like you guys were saying earlier about the technology, like this for me, I think it just gives them opportunity to use all the new stuff that's been built the last 20 years. Like they can do a lot with it now. Like it's that, I think that's what I'm most interested in, to see what they can do with it now. Having access to what we have now, it's gonna be mind blowing, I feel like. And I just, Hollywood works the same way. As long as it's successful, they'll keep making them. So as long as Keanu wants to keep doing it, they'll keep doing it. So now the trailer itself, it's just, I mean, it just looks fun. I think was it Jessica Henwick?
Yeah,
I think you say her name. Yeah, seeing her in there, like I was like, okay, cool, let's go.
Yeah, that important tattoo also.
Yeah, I'm excited. Okay. Yeah, I'm just.
And they showed out from the land book.
Yep.
Yeah, seeing like you said, I didn't think about the simulation stuff. Like I said, I haven't seen this movie in a very long time, so I'm listening to you guys like kind of give me ideas on what we're seeing. because honestly, for me, it just looks like fun. I'm not like in depth in the like everything that they have here. So, I mean, I can't wait to watch this. It's technology for me is the first thing I thought. I was like, oh, what can they do with this now? So yeah, I'm just happy that they get to do it and that Lana Wachowski get to do something that she wants to do.
Yeah. Lana looks like she did a great job with this movie. I will say it's not this movie definitely is something that you had to see the first three to fully understand. But it also looks like it's doing what most Marvel movies does, where clearly, yes, you have to see literally all the movies that came before. But if you didn't, there's still the entertaining appeal of the movie that you can kind of just go in and look at the cool visuals, look at the nice action, and then just kind of let the story be in the background so you get more knowledge of it. But it's definitely something that should be consumed with the knowledge of the first three movies. But that's what I think Lana Wachowski can kind of cash in on. I will say one thing. I don't think Lana will ever do it. One thing would be really cool is if one of the bad guys before this whole Neo saga is ever over, come full circle. Have Will Smith be one of the bad guys in one of these Matrix movies. So it comes back full circle that he finds his way into a Matrix movie.
Especially if this is a good one.
Yeah, especially if this is a box office hit. Look, Will Smith did Gemini Man, and albeit I didn't think that movie was horrible, I don't think he should say no to joining the Matrix franchise a second time. Because I can tell you, it'll do better than Gemini Man did. So I'm very excited for this, and I'm really excited for Yaya, man. These are huge shoes you're stepping into. Morpheus is infamously known as one of the coolest, dopest characters ever. But again, same thing me and Joel said about what's his name becoming Blade. There is a certain swagger that some people have that others just don't. Yaya to me oozes swag. So if there's anybody that could do this, it'd be Yaya. And I'm really interested to see why he's Morpheus, because he's more flamboyant than Morpheus was. Because remember, in the first three movies, Morpheus was all black. It was all business. Look at everything Yaya's Morpheus is wearing. The kimono where it's red, you know what I'm saying? He's just more colorful than Morpheus ever was. So I'm just interested. It could be a modern day Morpheus. Who knows? But it'll be really interesting to see how it all plays out. And I want to see who the new agents are. You know, you can never beat what's his name saying Mr. Anderson. So it'll be
my mom
interesting
says that all the time.
I've heard that quote,
yeah, it was one of those things, and I suggest to everybody go read the article. Lana Wachowski has a really interesting explanation behind where Mr. Anderson comes from. And it's pretty intriguing. But yeah, so I'm really interested. This is going to be awesome, I hope. I said this before. I think I'll probably watch this at home first. And if I love it, then I'll 100% go out and watch it in Dolby. But because I just have too many question marks, I want to see it at home for free first and then say, you got my money. So I want to go around. No, go ahead. Say what you're going to say, Trayvon.
Oh, I just something funny I thought of. I mean, I selfishly want this to do well because I was upset when Sense8 got canceled on Netflix, and that's another thing that they were working on. So yeah, I'm going to the theater.
You know what? I love you for that, Trayvon, because you're probably the only person that I know that has ever spoken about Sense8.
Love that show, man.
So I love it. I hope they bring it back for you, man. I really do. I really do, because you do have some real feelings for that show. So
yes, I do.
I'm with you. That's how I feel about I'm Not Okay With This. I loved everything about that show. So I understand. So actually, I'll start with you, Trayvon, before I end with Jamie and Joel. So you're going to see this first in theaters?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, this looks like something that'll be fun to see in theaters.
Okay.
I am wondering if it's shot in IMAX or not. I am wondering if it was or not, because that'll even make it even more exciting for me. But I'm going to see it either way.
You make a really
I feel
good
like this should be. I feel like this should be, if anything.
Yeah. No, you make a really good point.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad was shot like that, and so
Yeah.
was Christopher Nolan's Tenet. And I saw neither in theaters. But I still had fun with both movies.
Yeah.
You know, to me, it's one of those things where it's like if the movie's good, it's good no matter what. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's certain movies like Godzilla versus King Kong. That's a movie.
The height.
You need the theater ambiance to really truly enjoy that movie. I also didn't spend theaters either, but I loved it watching it at home. I bought a big TV for it anyway. But Joel, knowing how much you're loving being back in theaters, is this a theater first or like a family night at home and then okay, so theater first.
Yeah,
gotcha.
I don't want to take a chance falling asleep. I go to the theater, there's no chance of falling asleep. Go home. If I stay home, there might be a chance I pass out. So, yeah, theater, especially if it's a movie I really want to watch, I'm definitely gonna watch it. And I always prefer the theater when it comes to watching a movie.
Got you. And can I just say, Joel, you've got people asking me because you say it so much. If I fell asleep in Shang-Chi. Because you say it so much.
Don't fall asleep. You transform into a statue. It's very different.
I'm like, I didn't fall asleep. I was laughing. I was communicating with Joel.
Love it.
He's trying. He's definitely not a stone as much these days.
Petrified.
The last 2 times I've been in the theater, he's been more active. I don't know if it's he's just, because I swear to God, there are times he won't flinch, brother. I don't know if he's having fun. I have no idea. And he's like, God.
Because I will say this. It wasn't until going to the movies with Joel did I ever communicate in the course of a movie as much as I do. I'm used to my dad literally saying nothing during the course of the movie, so I just took that on. We talked
stuff. I heard him say some stuff.
He does. He's gotten a lot better over the years. But when I first started going with him, it was very much shh, so I can hear everything they're saying, which was fine. I get it.
That's the right way to do it.
It's the respect I give when I go that I, as Joel says, I statue. I don't.
You petrify.
I don't laugh out loud. I don't.
Oh.
I can't help you having fun at all. I'm like, bro, that was funny. You did not move.
The only time I made noise was during Get Out. I said stuff out loud. I think that made people mad.
I mean, I'm very much.
I'll blame you.
Dialogue guy. Yeah. I try my best. What the hell? I try my best not to miss out on anything that's being said, especially in Marvel movies. A lot of their shock and awe is through dialogue, more so than in visual. But no, I was talking with Joel with Shang-Chi. So everyone out there, stop asking me. I got that review of Shang-Chi. Like, well, how much of it did you really see, Joanne? Did you fall asleep? Were you doing anything? And it's just like, I
wouldn't let him fall asleep. Even if he did fall asleep, I would have noticed.
Yeah, no, I didn't fall asleep at all. That movie kept me. I was tired too, and that movie was just like, wake up.
I was tired. I was drifting. I was very tired.
But to be fair, you had already seen it. You'd already seen it.
I'd seen it the night before, so yeah, I was okay. But
that's the only thing I'm worried about with Eternals.
Is what, falling asleep?
Because that movie I want to see opening night. That'll be after I worked all day, and then I'll be like, God, I hope it's not. Just don't be slow. I'm just really worried about it being slow.
I will say it does seem really like a lot of it is story because a lot of Guardians was story because you just a lot of people just aren't familiar with the characters. So it does look like it might be story driven. So it might be fair to see.
It's not sometimes when it's slow. Sometimes I'll fall asleep during action sequence because it's like a mobile, like a child. You
know what? I can't even lie. I fell asleep during Godzilla, King of Monsters. Joel looked over at me and was just like, "You were asleep," and I was just like, "Really? Yeah, man, you were asleep." I was like, "Damn."
You mean that black shade wasn't part of the movie? What?
I woke up. Wait, here's the funny part. I think, Jamie, you gotta end this out. I don't want to go too long. I woke up and was just like, "Damn, that was good." And Joel just gave me the meanest look of like, "You were asleep the whole time. What you mean it was good?" Like, what part did you see? And I was just like,
The last fight.
Came out the water. Like, you did that 6 times, Joanne.
It's a very dark movie. So.
It is. I'm telling you, and Dolby doesn't help. The seats lift up. The ambiance is just like it's just like okay. But Jamie, is this going to be an HBO Max watch first, or are you going to the theaters first to see this?
I feel like my mom is really gonna want to see this. I'm just like, I don't know if she'll want to go in the theater because she's been very hesitant this whole year.
Mm-hmm.
I know that like deeply in her heart she want to go see it in theater, so I'm gonna say we will go see it when it hits theaters. Yeah, we'll definitely watch it either way, but I think this will definitely be one where she would want to go see it in the theater. So
Tell her, because this is what I've done so far. Tell her it's probably best to make it a for you because school probably Saturday morning.
well, we'll be on winter break, so we could go like during the week or whatever.
I was gonna say super early, so you're like probably the only ones there. That's what we did for Shang-Chi, and it wasn't packed at all, like at all. But we went a little later in the day on a Friday. If we had gone earlier, it would have been probably even less people. Yeah, so just do a super early screening, the early bird, and then it should be good.
I did watch *Malignant* at home. Like I didn't go to the theaters. Yeah.
Okay.
I made it a thing to watch. We watched it together, all of us at at a house. We just watched it there. It was good. I actually liked it. I don't know, a lot of people were talking shit about it, but
Dom liked it. Dom liked
it. It was good. It was good. It was weird.
I'm going to watch it. Wait, what time is it? Yeah, it's too late in the day for me to watch that shit. So I'm gonna watch it tomorrow morning and let you know what I think, Joel, so we can do a review down the line.
It's you'll like it. It's weird.
Well, let me ask you this: you watch it at night, obviously, right?
Yeah, I watch it.
Okay, let me ask you this: was it better because you were with a bunch of people, or do you think you could have watched it alone at night yourself?
I like the concept. I mean, could I watch it alone? Probably
at night.
Definitely, preferably not. I don't like watching any horror at night.
Right.
But I probably could have watched it alone and still enjoyed the point of the movie, because like it's kind of like it's a bait and switch almost. It starts one way, and you're like, oh, and then it turns around, you're like, oh, and you're like, whoa, and you kind of have an idea what it is, and when they finally reveal, you're like, I had a feeling that's what it was. Okay. I loved it.
All right, cool, because that's what James Wan did with the first Insidious, and I that movie to me is still a classic. So okay, good. It's good seeing James Wan get back in his bag. So okay, all right, cool. I'm gonna make sure I watch that. But all right, I want to thank Jamie, Joel, and Trayvon for joining me on this Matrix trailer breakdown. I think we're all excited for it. Jamie, you'll get there once you see the other two.
Yes.
Don't let anybody tell you any different, Jamie. Matrix Reloaded is the best Matrix movie until we see this one, and then we can maybe make this one the new. But that scene in the park, transcendent. No one talks about it enough, and I hate that. But all right, so let me know, Jamie, when you see the other two, because you'll see this trailer with new eyes. But all right, thank you guys for watching. Until next time, peace.
See ya.